Jakkalskuilnek, which translates into Jackal Den Pass, is a rough and tough 4x4 pass located on the eastern Limpopo escarpment. The official guide to points of interest in this area, called the Waterberg Meander, lists the name as Jakkalskuilnek Pass, but all other references use the given name. Although the pass appears to be fairly innocuous based on its statistics, it's definitely worth your while to make the effort to seek it out, provided that you're driving an appropriate vehicle. Under no circumstances should you attempt to traverse this pass unless you're driving a 4x4 with high clearance or riding an adventure motorcycle. Both the pass and the approach roads are in poor condition and require careful driving and a certain level of skill. There's also a probability that you could puncture one or more tires, so be prepared for this eventuality. Avoid this pass completely in wet weather. We filmed the pass from west to east. The pass begins at the crossing of a small stream, then climbs sharply towards the summit. The road surface is soft and sandy at this point, but this soon changes into stones and then large rocks. Deep ruts and washaways are evident, and you'll need to choose your driving line carefully to avoid damaging your vehicle. The vegetation on either side is thick and lush and encroaches quite heavily on the roadway, which means that you could end up with some surface scratches. The summit is reached at the 700-meter mark, and the road begins a steep descent as magnificent views of the lowveld below open up before you. Concentrate on the 40 or 50 meters of roadway ahead of your vehicle and keep your speed low. There's now a deep cutting on your left-hand side and a steep drop-off to your right, protected by boulders packed along the edge of the road. Loose rocks that have fallen down from the hillside on the left might force you to stop and move them, as the road is narrow and it's not always possible to drive around them. At the 1.1 kilometer mark, there's a shallow left-hand bend and you're afforded a brief respite from the dark shadows. This is a good spot to stop and take a photograph or two, as the views to the east and the south are quite spectacular. The road surface is covered with sharp rocks. If you do get a puncture, make sure that you've packed large stones in front of your unaffected wheels to prevent your vehicle from slipping forward off your jack whilst changing your tire. The descent continues, and at the 1.5 kilometer mark, there's another shallow left-hand bend as the direction changes into the northeast. The hillside to the left recedes as you approach a small narrow bridge guarded by rails on either side. The road now turns to the right through 90 degrees, and this marks the end of the steep part of the descent as the gradient flattens out here and the road surface improves considerably. This little-known pass was established prior to the completion of the nearby Kloof Pass and served the farmers and communities of the Bakenberg traveling between the low-lying bushveld region and the interior. It provides excellent views to the east and bisects the southern section of the Mupel wilderness area on the western side. The final section of the pass is a lot more open. There are some soft sand sections and a few shallow bends, but nothing that would cause any problems, provided that you drive carefully. There are some homesteads in this area, hidden in the thick bush, and the possibility of encountering domestic and farm animals is quite high, so keep your speed down. The descent continues at a shallow gradient until you reach the end of the pass at the 4 kilometer mark.